video. If you are resistant to change, or you really enjoy control, or endings are not something that is a skill set of yours or not something that is important, this video is for you. And I'm also going to bring in my Mexican culture because I do feel as though our relationship to death is one of the most beautiful mindsets, experiences. And if you've never heard the saying, if you've never been loved by a Mexican, you've never been loved before, I feel like it is also our relationship to death. To connect with death, to build the altars to our ancestors at least once a year, to be in communion with death, has taught us to live even deeper, to love harder, to fall in love with our work, to give something to this world that's not just a product, but it's passion. And it's not just about your productivity, but it's about your well-being. All of those need to coexist, because one thing's for certain: death is coming, change is coming, always. And if we are not present, if we are not living to the highest potential that we could possibly be in this moment, then you're living a slow death, right? Why not live now? Live clearly, live with your own authority. So this video is not about fearing change or fearing death, but it is about embracing it and utilizing it as one of your greatest motivators and weapons to reach higher heights. Should I keep this? We're gonna keep it as our little pinpoint, our little wand. So why are we conditioned to fear change and to fear death? Because it will require you to be still, to step into reflection, and to step into the art of surrender. Surrender is allowance, it's receptivity. A lot of us, myself included, it's easier to be in the place of giving and pushing and being in our yang and our masculine and making things happen. I love being in that energy. I love my ambition. I love those parts of myself. But when there are seasons like Day of the Dead, I am called back into the memory that all people, all of my ancestors before me lived beautiful legacies and created beautiful reputations, beautiful mindsets that I carry in my blood that naturally come out of me, my skills, my crafts, my desires, the way that I was raised. All of those people before me have either gone or will eventually go. And this time of year reminds me of that preciousness, reminds me that it will always require me to surrender at some point. So I take that mindset into all things that I do. When I'm talking to someone and the conversation gets cyclical and circular, right? No one's really listening to each other. That is when I surrender. And I ask myself internally, what do I need to receive right now? Do I just need to listen even though I don't agree? Do I just need to regulate myself because I'm getting triggered and I am now reacting from a place not of clarity, but of control? And so understanding that surrender, stillness, solitude, these are sacred ways of getting clear, absorbing more of our power, getting more present with what you actually want from this life. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your essence. This is your purpose. This is your path. And when we allow ourselves to just avoid stillness, avoid our solitude, avoid surrender, we again will enter into these circular ways of trying to find solutions to parts of our path that require us to change, to create these metaphorical deaths, to let go, to soften, and to understand that nothing is ours. Everything is temporary. Everything is for a part of our life, a part of our business. And the better that we get at allowing energy, moments, dynamics to move through us and not become them, that is when I find that we become more fluid. We get these quantum leaps, we get these genius ideas. We allow ourselves to be inspired by the present moment and by our inspiration and by the muses that are all around us at all times. Okay, so how do we actually do this physically? Okay, so what I love to do, and I'm taking a page from my Mexican culture because we build altars and we actually have days where we go and we celebrate our dead and we dress up and we quite literally look like death, okay? Insert picture here. And that is because we are connecting. We are connecting with the energy of change. We are connecting with the energy of rebirth. And I can tell you from experience, after Day of the Dead, I literally feel enchanted and inspired to live more, to be more of myself, to live in authenticity, and to also honor all of those before me, and also to become the ancestor that all those after me will feel proud of, will understand that I'm running through their blood, and will have that sense of legacy within themselves. So first thing is you want to create a death ritual, okay? And what this looks like is you can create an altar, right? You can add flowers for their frequency of what it represents to you. These are marigolds, and marigolds are really good lights for the souls that have passed and guiding them through these portals into this realm so we can connect, we can communion. You can also have candles. Candles can be a symbolism of finding more clarity in the chaos, in the darkness, and allowing yourself to become more illuminated and more of a master of your sight and sense of seeing. And if you'd like to put intentions, your candles can also represent what is ending or what is changing in your life. You could put any intention into it, right? But that embodied practice, that intention, is allowing you to begin to disconnect, to detach. And as you have your altars, right, you can also have different symbolisms, different things that represent what you're releasing, what has changed. For us in my Mexican tradition, we'll put the sweets of our ancestors, and we'll put all the things that they loved, and there's pictures of them, right? So we are quite literally creating altars for the dead. But you could do this in your life metaphorically, where it's maybe an altar to an old way of dealing with money, right? And so you can create an altar of your old version of yourself and how you dealt with money, okay? And symbolisms to that. And I find that another really, really important part of this ritual is thanks and gratitude, celebration. Thank the versions of yourself that had the knowledge, had the resources, had all the experience to get you where you are now, right? Thank all the things. Be in that state of gratitude, because when we're in gratitude, we allow ourselves again to detach to the older version, so we're not so shameful, rigid, attached, or judgmental to the older parts of ourselves, but we can gracefully let go. Because what did I say? The more that you practice this skill set of being graceful with change, the quicker you are to change and adapt, where almost every single day you are evolving. People can't keep up. This is how you quantum leap. This is how you are constantly in the right place, right time. This is why you're the lucky girl, because you get really comfortable with having these petite little changes and depths of self and letting go and releasing, and not having that resistance to that past version of yourself and the future. They're all becoming one at once. Now, a second part of this, besides building your altar, is dress for transition. This is why fashion is one of the most powerful ways to change the way you think and the way that people treat you, right? So once you're having this altar set up, what is now going to be your new form in the way that you dress? How do you style your hair? What are the colors that you wear? How is your body shaped? What is the health of your body? And also what I like to do is, if I'm going through big changes in my life, I will also change up my perfume to align with the scent, because our noses and scent can trigger memories, right? Try not to have any scents or anything around you that will trigger you back into the old version, but really give yourself permission to enchant yourself and to dress for the part, because you are dressing to impress your reality, to transform the way that people treat you and see you, and also, more importantly, for yourself. Because when you look in the mirror, it is an opportunity to see yourself of who you want to become versus who you were. And again, the goddess is always in celebration. Even in her changes, she is celebrating it based upon changing the way that she looks, right? She is shape-shifting. So when we talk about glow-ups, I feel as though what we're really talking about is there is a death inside of our identity, and now we're changing our health routines, our beauty routines, our makeup routines, because we're now going into another version of who we are. Anchor that change in your body, your physical body. So besides fashion, another way to do this is change up your health, right? Maybe change up the food that you eat, how you move, how you speak, where you put yourself, your presence. Change up the way that your body shows up. Really, really invest more into getting healthier, becoming more vibrant, giving your body permission to embody the changes that are happening around you. Because what I find is that when we go through change and or death, we will need to metabolize some emotions that are still attached or maybe passing through us from the past version of who we are, right? Like grief is a really important emotion to experience, to not repress, because you'll be able to see it on your face via wrinkles, via the lines on your face, via perhaps the slowness of your energy levels. So it is important to feel it in your body and work with your body to metabolize that experience of what that change and that death is bringing up. So that way, we're not completely disassociating from feelings that will eventually catch up with us in some type of way, shape, or fashion, but we are quickly metabolizing them, and we are using our body as the instrument to transform and to be the vessel of metabolizing the emotion while still embodying through fashion, embodying through nurturing ourselves, nourishing ourselves, moving ourselves, changing our environments to start to tap into this newer reality that we are embodying and arriving into. So my loves, remember, most powerful women, most goddesses, most beautiful women know the art of disappearing and going ghost for a while, and giving yourself permission to step into the art of change. Do it so much that it almost becomes effortless for you, and that way no one can ever decide your fate. No one can ever say that you are not living your life on your terms and in your power. I pray this was so helpful. I pray that this opens up so many opportunities for you, and I'm going to put in the comment sections ways that we can connect. You can join me over on Patreon. That's where I go live with folks, and also subscribe so that way we can stay connected.